Hello, thanks for tuning in and listening. Join me on my ride, my journey, if you would like. You obviously don't have to, but I'd like you to, if you want. Um, these videos are check-ins for me and for whoever is out there listening. That's a place for me to express and relate and share and connect, ideally, and let myself be seen and heard and known in my humanness. In most other ways I use social media, it is different when I feel like I don't show up with my voice and my face. It's still me, but it's a different form of expression and sharing versus like in the moment flow that happens and whatever arises in that moment and the needs of the moment. And I like being able to sit down and write and share my words after like editing them and arranging them in a certain way, and editing a photo and having the progression of slides a certain way. Very intentional. And also with this, it's a different form of intention. It is a little more fluid and kind of a trust fall for myself. And it's like exposure therapy, and I feel like I keep using that term exposure therapy lately, and I think that kind of speaks to what in general my life and has become, is like confronting things that maybe I was afraid of or uncomfortable with, and confronting them through immersing myself in it to minimize the fear and the charge behind the thing, and my either like avoidance of it or just like unease with it, whatever it may be. So I also want to say that while I'm driving, I'm very aware of all of my surroundings. Occasionally, yes, I look down here when I'm at a stop, or I just have I can walk and talk, or drive, or arms of drive that I could say I'm doing. Jive. I'm like jiving and driving. Jive to talk to jive. Is that like... I don't even know if that's totally the right word that I'm looking for. I don't even 100% know what that means, in all honesty. Do you know? And I guess I can Google it afterwards. But I think it's like to playfully talk, or like kind of... No, I think that's like when you're speaking in a way that's to confuse somebody, or like to... I don't know. I know some things that are still up for, like... I don't know. I know and I don't know. And just, we all know things and don't know things. And it's good to remain humble and honest about that. And open to being corrected and to learning. And, So, I just saw something pop up on my phone screen, and it made me smile, in case you're wondering why I just randomly started smiling. But I also don't need a reason to randomly start smiling, because why not just smile and be happy about living and being able to go into a happy place in your mind and heart, even if everything around you is absolute shit. Have you, there's this book by Viktor Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning. That's a good one, because it really touches on, the whole book is like an immersive experience about the power of the mind to survive, like to keep oneself moving out of and like through awful circumstances. In this case, this man, it's his journal entries and experience afterwards. I think some of it is journal, or maybe it's been many years since I've read this, to be honest. So, but he's in the Holocaust, so he is a Holocaust survivor, and it's his experience with watching people give up and lose hope, and everyone just dying around him. Which, I mean, honestly, like, to be fair, I don't know how much I'd want to be alive and all of that, but he kept his mind sharp and clear and showed up within that awful system and world that he was in, and was spreading like connection and enjoy as much as he could. And he ended up in like resiliency of like, I will get through this. This is temporary. We will, like he's like, I will survive this. And so he did survive it, and he did live through it. And, so it's just a testimony of the resiliency of the human spirit and mind, because it's not just in your mind. It's one spirit. This part of self that is beyond logic and reasoning, that pushes and sustains and like guides forward out of sludge and rubble and debris and fire and toxicity and chaos. The thing that grows out of it, that still perseveres and comes out of whatever it is, stronger and with more compassion and gentleness, because strength actually can be being soft and being gentle and kind. There's different forms of strength, and so I just want to speak to that, because so much of our experience is in our minds and hearts, and while things can be pretty shitty and don't make sense and are uncomfortable and confusing, amidst all of that, we get to choose, how we move forward, how we perceive in this moment, what we take in, and what we will, how we will transmute and alchemize whatever that is to, either rise out of it or be consumed by it and be absorbed and limited by our environments and by circumstance. So I just want to, every day, speak that out loud for myself and for the world, how important it is to be clear and grounded in oneself and one's connection to spirit, to personal, individualized spirit of self, and the larger whole, the larger collective family, and the greater spirit, greater spirit than the individual I, that is beyond words and beyond logic and reasoning. You can, many names for this thing. It's a source, creation, creator. It's all, and the way I look at it too, it's all like interwoven with everything. So it's not just something up above us in the clouds, like this idea of God that many of us were taught. It's something that is present in every moment. It's within us. It's in all of life. It's somehow woven within everything, even the things that are absolutely awful, because that is somehow part of this evolution and growth that is happening. And even, I know that sounds a little like, I don't know, because we don't want to, you can't reason with it. You can't reason with this thing, whatever it is. But, death is life and life is death. And with that comes, there's pain and struggle and grief and it's a lot of things. It's everything. You can't really box it in, but whatever it is, a great mystery, actually. I like that, because it is a mystery, and these words can be limiting, like God even, like can feel a little weird for a lot of people and kind of triggering and just restrictive, and like has a lot of, history with how it's been used, and, I don't know. I've kind of felt very turned off from that word, and I'm trying to like reclaim that and not give it so much power too, where words are subjective, and yes, there is an origin and a history of usage and meaning and all this stuff, but like we give things power, like we give things meaning through how we choose to see it based upon what we were told something is, or what what we read about or we observed, or but in the end it's really a choice, and then so it's all choice. We have free will, we have choice, amidst a lot of things that are out of our control. We have control, and we also have to let go at times, because we cannot control everything and many things, and we can control ourselves and our responses and our perceptions, and even then, like, sometimes I don't feel in control of certain things because of my programming and my patterns and how I've been wired to be. So it's interesting. Yeah, so, but I think that I don't want to be a victim to myself and my past and generations of trauma, but like I am. We are all victims to a system that is oppressive and problematic. At the same time, at a certain point, we become victims to ourselves more than anything, because to rise out of that system and these things of all this oppression, we are capable and able to do that. Like, we have the ability and resources to do that. And it might not be as accessible and easy as for some other people, but like, if we really want something, we can get it. Like, we can do it. Like, yes, and but what? Yes, and also, I don't know. I feel like making excuses is, yeah, there are definitely some things that can reason with like why something's more challenging or harder than for some other people. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I guess like it's, yeah, there are some limitations of mind, body, spirit that some people have, like mentally, physically, spiritually, like mostly I'd say mentally and physically. Spiritually, I believe we're capable of anything. Like the spirit realms, the beyond this physical world, like we are not, that's a realm that I do believe everybody can strengthen and explore. When it comes to physical limitations and mental limitations, that is very much a thing. Certain people's brains just don't function in or due to trauma or due to drug usage, due to whatever it is. Like it just doesn't work the same way. And you know, with ADHD, different like neurodivergencies, like you know, some of that can be worked with, and you know, there can be an improvement to certain symptoms or things, finding like a form of harmony within the body and homeostasis through you know, like vitamins, minerals, nutrients, herbs and friends, and herbal friends and friends in general. Having friends is helpful for mental health, but mental health is a combination of physical and spiritual health, which we might need some spiritual help, some mental and spiritual and physical help. So in order to have health, we sometimes need help. That was an accident. I didn't mean to say that, but you know, it came through. So reaching out for support and help, making ourselves vulnerable, like being authentic and honest about where we're at and what we're needing and who we are, and opening up and expanding our, you know, our worlds through that desire and draw towards more. And then once that starts, it's like a snowball effect of it just keeps happening. It keeps amplifying it upon itself, or building upon itself. So yeah, just a reminder that you know, you can have what you want, and you are very, very powerful and capable. How did they do that? You ever just see some graffiti and it's like, wow, how'd you get there? How'd you do that? It's a great mystery. I don't know how things happen sometimes, but they do. And there's not always a scientific, logical explanation for things. And most times there's not. And even the explanations and reasoning that we have for a lot of things, like, we could debunk. And a lot of science is bought out. And I don't... Like, I saw some article about how, like, Crisco, like, funded this... this campaign that was about that animal fats were unhealthy, and was like promoting margarine or like seed oils, and like millions of dollars went into this, like, not a campaign, but like a promotion of their product. Well, come to find out, it's all bullshit, and they were just bought out. Like, they bought out these scientists to prove this stuff is real, and it's not. And then, like, so science that's accepted isn't always true and right. Like, we can't always accept things as fact, because there's a lot of corruption, so much corruption in the upper realms of who has money and power. And it's really important to question things and to do a little more deep diving into things from different resources, and also having your own lived experience with these things. Like, I don't know. I think that the intuition has been, a lot of people have been severed from their own intuition and ability to think and feel for themselves, and they seek other people to tell them what is true and fact and real in order to make their lives easier. But by making their lives easier, they're actually making themselves sick in certain realms, because their bodies are lacking. It's just a whole thing, you know? So yeah, things and stuff and things and people and places and all the things. Okay, so bringing it back into self and presence, because there's a lot going on out in the world, a lot of corruption, a lot of illusions and deception and smoke and mirrors and actors on stages and scripted messages and things that just aren't looking out for the best of us, aren't looking out for any of us. Yeah, so aren't looking out for the best of, okay, I think I said it right, okay. So, well, let's see. Back into self presence. What do you need today? Bringing it back in. What do I need today for my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, social health? What can I do to feel good in my body where I'm at? And breathing. Breathing is a good first step into being in the body in a good way. Feeling what arises without intellectualizing it and trying to make sense of it, but feeling the feeling, noticing the sensations, and letting it pass. Not putting a story to it, not trying to make sense of it, just feeling it. It's safe to feel your feelings. It's safe to be you. It is safe to feel and to be and to release and to let out and to shout and to cry and to just shake and make silly faces and be weird and wacky and whatever it is that you need, just do it. Let it out. Get it out. Maybe it's a sound. Maybe it's a movement. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Whatever it is you need, listen to yourself, sit with yourself, be in your body, and flow forward into your day with a deep connection to yourself and to your needs, to the needs of the moment, and to presence, to breath, to the intention of clarity and groundedness, peace, whatever intentions you have, write them down, get very clear on what it is that you want and what it is you need, and flowing into that, and then there's the logical step-by-step, the things you can do to make that happen. But first and foremost, just being in your body, breathing, checking in. Not that you need me to tell you what to do. I'm not trying to boss you around, tell you what to do, but I know sometimes I wish someone would do that to me, so maybe I'm just projecting or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. I don't know. All right. Well, I am getting ready to pull up and arrive to my destination, so I'm going to close this up. Thank you for listening and hanging out and being here with me, and for doing the work and play that you are over there to grow and to spread joy and connection and whatever it is that you want in your life, being that first and sharing that and embodying that and integrating the intellectual knowings into your body through your nervous system, through the breath, through different practices to rewire yourself and nourish yourself and take care of yourself, because that's what the world needs most, is you being good with you being in your body in a way that is safe and that there's peace, so that you can nurture connections where you bring that peace, and it's a ripple effect out into the world that is very the most powerful thing, really. Just keep breathing, keep being, shaking and moving, and whatever it is you got to do to get out what's in there, express, create, explore, imagine, question, all of that jazz, good stuff. Okay, well, you take care, and giving you a big hug. Sometimes all we need is a hug and someone to listen to us. So maybe go talk to a tree. If you don't have a person you feel totally safe talking to, just go give it to the earth. Go share your experience with the spirit of the forest, because it is the most welcoming, loving spirit that I know, and friend that I have is the trees and the birds and the bees and the little fairies that you can't always see, but they're there. And they sometimes take the form of little cutie insects, but they coexist with us. There's a lot unseen that is the mystery that we can learn more about if we reach out and we open up to receiving the wisdom that lies there and the wisdom that lies within you. And I hope that you have a space where you feel heard and held and listened to. And first and foremost, maybe giving that to yourself and really hearing yourself, listening to yourself. And all right, well, until next time. Okay, bye.